So, and I don't think the gender issue is something when it comes to the investment. If it's technology, if it's interesting, if the person is really competent, it doesn't matter whether they're a man or a woman. And some of the things that people talked about today, this issue of translation, to me, that's one of the most critical things that both men and women don't do well at early stage companies. They either enamored of their technology and want to talk about it and not talk about the shape of the business. And when you're talking to an investor, you don't go to France and apologize for not speaking French. You really better do that in that space. So you have to learn the terminology. You have to tell them what you're doing very directly, to echo what Jen has said, and say, this is what I do. This is what we're going to take over a certain period of time, and be very specific about it, very fast. It's how you interact in that space. And men have the same difficulties, especially if they have a technology background. They want to build you the bridge plank by plank about how they got to where they are. And the answer is an investor wants to say, okay, what do you have? And if I really like it and it's in my space, we'll talk about that in due diligence later on. So so to me, that's one of the issues with women. The other thing the networking is very good, because I had to laugh. I know 4 women here from the entrepreneur side from different ways, not all pitching to me, whatever, but it's a ecosystem that we live in. So all the investors talk to each other, all the early stage companies. If you meet, you may get more advice from another early stage entrepreneur who's achieved something, and to me, that's very valuable. And I was very impressed with the woman who was talking about making sure she had the skill set around her to move forward in terms of, you're talking about your botanicals business and moving in the change that you're making. That, I think, is difficult for women to do. I see more women having to be in charge of everything, okay? And we're all smart, but we're all not that smart. So having the right skill set around you and making a team is very important. That team part for women, I think, is a little hard sometimes. I've just seen a lot of that. So I think, but overall, I go with you in terms of talking about the skill set. It's not just men and women. Early stage fundraising is hard. It always takes twice as long or 3 times as long. And getting that warm introduction is really important. But it's something that you just have to be persistent about. And I think you sort of alluded to it, Alan. We do see more lifestyle businesses started by women. It doesn't mean that men don't do it also, but granted, all of us are sort of high growth investors, but more women seem to aggregate in those kind of spaces. So I think I see more women there in those as opposed to more high growth businesses.